Hey, hi, I'm Josh.
And I'm Heather, and we're from Try Hard Enthusiast on Instagram. And this is just more or less going to be a large pickup video from pretty much stuff that's come in within the past week from different places like Easterland, Lukey's, Second and Charles. There's one thing from GameStop and eBay and some other places. Which one do you want to start with?
Let's start with these right here.
Okay. We're just gonna kind of go like system by system because I figured it'd probably be a little harder to do place by place, but you'll see.
Yes. I guess first up, we have. Let's do all one thing.
Yeah.
We have 3 Splinter Cell games. Can you see them? They're all from the PS2 era. I kind of want to play through all the Splinter Cell games. I played one of them on the 360.
I haven't played any of them.
That's about it. I'm not really big on stealth games. I'm more of a person who, if there's a stealth option, it's an option, and I don't use it. So, yeah.
Next up, have both of the games from Destroy All Humans. Figured this would be a good one to pick up, being was it the third one or is it the revision?
It's a revision. It's a remake of the first one coming out. I've played the first one. I've not played the second one before, I don't think.
I've never played them. They've looked really entertaining, but...
They are. They're a bunch... It's just entertaining being a little alien going around killing people. And anal probes. Next up is the Bouncer. We picked this up as a upgrade to the copy that we had.
Yeah, because that copy was...
kind of a terrible game, but...
The copy we had was just disc only, so that completes it, both case and manual. And it kind of looks like a rejected Sora, so...
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay, this one's definitely more of a high dollar, I'd say almost holy grail kind of game. It's Monster Rancher 4. It is indeed complete, which is fun enough in its own to find. But this is the last one of the mainline Monster Rancher games that we need for the collection. 1 and 2 are both on the PS1, and then 3, 4, and Evo are all PS2 games. But it's definitely an interesting series. I've grew up watching the anime a lot, so.
I didn't even know there was an anime.
Oh, it's great. It's one of those for kids ones, so it's voice acted so terribly, but it's great. It's really good.
Why did you say it was for kids? I thought you did that.
And then next have Star Wars Racers Revenge. Pod Racers was the first N64 game that I'd gotten as a kid. It was actually the bundle pack that I'd gotten. Absolutely loved this game. Honestly, I kind of coined my driving ability to this, which is terrible to say, but definitely got really excited when I found out there was another game in the series. So.
And this final game for the PS2 also was a condition upgrade for us, and it is Xenosaga Episode 3. This one is complete. Our original copy was missing the manual, if I remember.
That and the first disc had a decent chunk. It looked like somebody dropped it on the corner of a table. So I was a little concerned on whether or not it would have actually played.
Yes.
Probably would have, but... Alright.
So that's it for the PS2.
Do you want to go in order?
Let's do GameCube. It's
GameCube?
a shorter set.
Okay. Do you want to start? You want me to start?
Sure. So first up for the GameCube, we have Star Fox Adventures. Haven't actually played this game before, but it looked interesting. It's completely different from any other Star Fox game. It wasn't originally meant to be a Star Fox game.
Let's see, if I remember right, it was supposed to be like a dinosaur kind of, not platform. Was it dinosaur platformer, or it was like Dino Land something?
I have no idea.
That's what it was originally supposed to be. Next up, have Alien Hominid. This is another game that I had back in the day that I stupidly traded into GameStop when I was younger. It is complete. The reason why I got the GameCube one was, like I said, had this one, so it was kind of more so on principle.
And next up, we have Billy Hatcher. Because why not get a game that's all about rolling around giant eggs?
It actually does look really entertaining, though, from what I've seen.
It does.
Alright, so the next two games are actually more, well, one's more robot-inspired, one's anime-inspired. First one is Custom Robo. This one reminds me a lot of Virtual On, which is a big game of my childhood. So any games like that, I tend to gravitate to. And then the other one is Metabot Infinity. This is another anime that I grew up with as a child, featuring Metabot, and I don't know, just any kind of like robot battling games kind of draw me in.
And finally, for the GameCube, picked up a copy of Spy Hunter. I remember playing this on the PS2 as a kid. It's not complete.
I did not realize that.
I actually kind of enjoyed the original Spy Hunter game. Well, actually not the original, because it was back on, I believe, Nintendo. I'm not sure, but there is an older Spy Hunter game. But I just thought it'd be cool to pick up the GameCube version, compare the two, see what's what.
And then we found out there's a second one.
There is a second one. There's actually a third one, I believe, that was to tie into the movie that never actually happened. It was to star The Rock, if I remember.
I wouldn't be surprised if they tried tying that into Fast and Furious somehow.
I mean, it's... You have a spy car with a bunch of guns that can transform. It's...
Yay. Hollywood magic, right?
Yep.
Okay, so next we'll go ahead and move on to the PS3, which is the bulk of what we ended up picking up. I guess you want to start with that one? We'll get this
sure.
back.
So, to go along with the PS2 ones, I also picked up Splinter Cell Blacklist. Again, I want to get all the games in the series and play through them because it's different from what I'm used to as far as shooters go.
Next, this one was a hard one to find all three games. I actually luckily ended up finding the first game at GameStop, and that is the Dead Space games. This is probably one of those series that I will probably watch you play. Just because it is more of a horror survival game. We watched one of our buddies, Somber, play a couple missions in this. Actually, was it 2? Or was it the first one? I think it was the first one he was playing. But he kept running back and forth into that one.
Yes.
Like the monster would chase him, and he'd go like right past the threshold and it'd run off, and then... But there's the first one. The second one we end up getting as the collector's edition because it's supposed to have Extraction, which was for the time a Wii U exclusive. But I don't know how it's going to work because there's not a digital code. I've seen that you have to have the disc in the system in order to play it. So whenever I end up putting this in the PS3, we'll find out how it actually works out. The collector's edition did come with the game, came with the soundtrack, and it came with a art postcard.
And a little replica of the gun that you use. It's a baggie.
Little is a understatement for that.
It's a little disappointing, the size of the gun, when, you know, it was advertised as a replica gun.
And then also, we end up getting Dead Space 3. So that completes out the trilogy for that one. That will be able... This pickup ended up being a lot of trilogy and series games pickup, which...
Yes. And to go along with the games that she will watch me play, which will be entertaining, we picked up the trilogy for F.E.A.R. So we have F.E.A.R. 1, F.E.A.R. 2, and F.E.A.R. 3. I've only actually played the first one. It's a lot of fun.
I remember
it's a great series.
When I worked at GameStop, a lot of people were really drawn to that game. Yes. And the little bit that I've seen, it's not something that I personally would play by myself. I would much rather watch somebody play it.
When we play, we'll have a camera on her so that we can see the jump scares. Cause
I'm bad when it comes to jump scares. I'm so bad. Right. Next, Lost Planet 3. This was the last one of the trilogy that we did not have. It is only case and disc only. I don't think this came with a manual. At least everywhere I've seen it sold, it's just been game and case.
It's the only other trilogy that I have not played.
We do need to upgrade the first game.
And this one I can see has little dings in the cover.
All games have dings in the covers. The first one, though, the artwork is just trashed.
Yeah.
So we'll be looking to upgrade that eventually.
So the next two are part of a series. These I haven't actually played, but I've seen a lot of play for these, and they look really fun. So we got Prototype 1 and Prototype 2.
We end up picking up Enslaved for the PS3. This one, yeah, it's by Ninja Theory. Definitely need to
upgrade the manual.
Upgrade the manual because it's seen better days. But this is a game that I hear about sometimes, not often. But it looks fairly interesting. So,
and it's a 2-player co-op, so that's
that. No, it's not.
Thought it was.
No, it's one. I think you switch back and forth between
that's no
the main character Monkey and the girl.
That's no fun. It'd be more fun as a co-op.
It would be. I think you're thinking of. I think I know what you're thinking of, but I can't think of the name right now. I want to say it's like Majin or.
I don't know.
It's all good.
Actually, I don't know anything about this game.
Neither do I. Binary yeah, if I can talk.
Domain.
Binary
domain.
Thank you. I don't know why that was such a tongue twister for me. I've seen this not very often when we go into game stores. So I figured, I'm assuming it's a first-person shooter, which conveniently has Resident Evil 6 stickers in it. Good old used game stores.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know. I figured it'd be interesting to pick up some more uncommon games, possibly try them out.
Let's move on to PS4.
Yeah, let's do PS4 since there's only a couple of these guys.
And they're right there.
Yes.
So first up, I picked up a copy of Monster Hunter World, the Iceborne edition. Mostly just because the steelbook is pretty.
It is a very pretty steelbook. I would have loved to get the European or PAL collector's edition where it actually had the statue, because I'm pretty sure the US collector's editions didn't.
Yeah. And it's actually a physical game, whereas some of the case for Iceborne is just a download code with nothing in the case, which is stupid.
I still want to know what like at Best Buy they have these little tins that are just the size of a square. Yeah, little square steelbooks. I don't know if they're just supposed to be code only or what, but I'd love to figure out what those are.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we've got some more series. Next, or the last two PS4 games that we have is Dishonored 1 and 2. I have not played these. I think these are more stealth-based games.
Actually, depending on how you play it, it actually changes.
I would probably play them as stealth, because that's...
Because you can play them as stealth, or you can play them as kill everything. And the difficulty actually changes based on how you're doing it.
That'd be interesting. I don't know, I'm more... I'd much rather...
From what I've heard.
I'd much rather sneak around than go guns blazing, because I'm pansy when it comes to some games sometimes. Alright, so we'll move on to Wii and one lone Wii U game.
Let's switch these out.
Go ahead.
Alright, so first up, So this is the Wii and our single Wii U game. We picked these up because I love this series and I really want to play these two. So we have Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze. Not actually played these because I'd never actually owned a Wii or Wii U during the time period. So I'm looking forward to that. I love the original series. We have all 3 games.
I know we have them for the Super Famicom. I don't think we actually have the Nintendo copies.
I think we have the first one at least. The North American copies.
We might have gotten it in a bundle. But I know we definitely have the Super Famicom copies. Because we got it in that one lot with the Zoids games.
Yes.
Okay, next. So this is a fairly uncommon Wii game. It's Opuna. I believe it is a action RPG. I'm not 100% sure. I was looking through the manual a little bit before we started doing this. And I can't tell if it's turn-based or action. But it's just another one of those random Wii RPGs that you definitely don't see often at all.
And next up we have Epic Mickey. Another game I never actually played.
I haven't played either. And I forgot that that game...
I tend to stay away from Disney games.
Well...
But...
It was free because we're on Lukey's. When you make purchases, you get so many points for every dollar you spend. So that was one of the games I had happened to cash in points for. And I just thought about it. That game actually has a paintbrush controller that you're supposed to play it with it. So I'll have to keep an eye out for that. So next is Zack and Wiki. I can't remember who has posted on Instagram about this, but I know it's been popping up fairly often. It's just one of those more underrated games on the Wii, and I got it for pretty cheap, so I'm not going to complain about it.
And our final Wii game is Monster Hunter 3 Try.
It's just one of the Monster Hunter games we didn't have.
They're pretty much all the same.
I definitely will say I like the style of Monster Hunter World over the older games.
Yes.
Because with the older games, whenever you go into a new zone, it has to load in. Whereas with World, it is definitely more seamless, and I can greatly appreciate that.
Yeah. Benefits of new technology.
Yes. Okay. The last stack of games is just a hodgepodge of odds and ends. So I guess I'll do the first 2. So the first one is actually the other game I cashed in Lukey's points with. I don't even know if it's going to show up from this far away. But it is Super Scribblenauts for the DS. Scribblenauts has always been an interesting game to me because you pretty much get items and characters in your gameplay through typing in words, and then it shows up. So it's definitely a very creative game. The second one is one that I did post on Instagram earlier. It is Teller Boxer, and it is one of the few Virtual Boy games that I actually did want to look for. I got this, Wario Land, Mario's Tennis, and the only game that I really would want to purchase, which...
It's expensive.
If we do, it's probably going to be the Japanese copy, is Jack Bros. But let's be real, who isn't looking for Jack Bros?
So next up, I think this is our only 64 pickup.
Yep.
We have The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. Another game I actually never have played.
It's the lenticular one, and
looking forward to actually playing that one.
I was actually surprised of the price that Second and Charles had that for when we went in there. That's part of the reason why I was like, other than the fact that I want to get it, we're buying it now because you don't see it for that very often.
Yeah. So the next one we actually just got a couple days ago. Just kind of picked this one up on a whim because I was literally getting ready to check out and saw it. But we have Secret of Evermore on the Super Nintendo. Don't really know much about it, other than it's an RPG.
Just another action RPG.
No, I've heard the name tossed around a lot.
The next two are also from the same place we got Secret of Evermore. We have a really cool local game shop called GameCore in Laurel, Delaware. If you ever get the chance, it may look like it's in a very sketchy location, but it's run by a couple of really cool people. But this next game is Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker, and it is the collector's edition. And in that, you get the soundtrack, a whole bunch of vinyl stickers for the game, different characters and logos, and then obviously, of course, the game. And then we'll set him over there for right now. The next one, which I probably won't take this out just because, it is Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. This is a game that I had when I was a kid. Absolutely loved it. I wouldn't mind getting Oracle of Ages, that way we could play through them, because there's actually some linked gameplay between the two, whether or not you finish one and like switch your character over to the other. So be excited to play that again.
Alright, and our final non-collector's edition game that we picked up is actually, well, it's a limited collector's edition, but it is Perfect Dark Zero for the Xbox 360. This is the Steelbook, which is absolutely gorgeous.
That is one game that I've never played the 64 version even.
So, doesn't really come with anything else other than the Steelbook and some download codes that I'm sure are expired or used.
You want to do these before collector's editions?
Sure.
Okay.
So, our local store had a massive trade-in of collector's items, and we picked up quite a few of them. First up, we have the complete collector's edition of Final Fantasy 15, the Player's Guide.
And I'm sorry, if you do any video game collecting, even if it's not strategy guides, like just video games, 9 times out of 10, you know that this guide is extremely hard to come by, let alone just see randomly in the wild.
And most of these guides look like they were not even opened or used. They were just collector's items, which is probably what they're going to stay. Because I use guides mostly just for maps whenever I am doing a game that has a lot of exploration in it. Next up, we have the collector's edition for The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. They actually had 2 of these there. They had this one and a different edition, but I can't remember what the other one was.
It was the regular Twilight Princess. I definitely want to get the full collection of these books just because they look absolutely gorgeous to begin with. But to get a complete set, you're looking at easily $300. So I'm hoping that by piecing it out, granted we might not have the box that comes with it, but we might be able to get it for a little cheaper than. But next, just cheap one, picked up Yokai Watch. I figured because the game is fairly similar to Pokemon, where you have your monster collecting and all the stats and everything, that the pages in the back would definitely be a good help. And it was on the cheap side, so why not? And same with the collector's edition of Star Fox Zero. I really do like the hardcover books. And funny enough, this one was a pennied out guide from GameStop that somebody traded in to GameCore. And they've had these as long as I can remember, because, I mean, not that many people are really going to pick up a Star Fox guide.
And last but not least, and this actually kind of goes along with another thing we have, this is the Legendary Edition for the Elder Scrolls Skyrim. It's a really cool book, extremely thick.
And we do have the softcover version of it, but this one has eluded us for some time now.
Yes.
Alright, so the next thing we're going to go ahead and show off is a couple of figures and collector's editions. We're just going to kind of hold them up right now, but we're going to add in some B-roll of everything, of actually unpacking the boxes, because we all know that that takes 10 years in a day. But, so the first one we have is from the Castlevania anime that's on Netflix right now, and it is actually of Dracula statue. We actually have the
Alucard.
not
Oh.
Alucard. It's what
Belmont.
Is it just Belmont?
It's.
He's right over there.
Is it Richter? Trevor.
Yeah, we've got the Trevor Belmont to go with it.
It's too many Belmonts.
That is too many. But I definitely like those style figures more so than the other ones. They've got some smaller figures in right now at GameStop, but just the painting on them looks a little weird. So I figured to stick with these guys.
So, next up, this is kind of a funny one. This is one of the collector's editions that was traded into our local game store. I bought this strictly because of the statue. It looks really cool. The game itself, you can't even play anymore, and it was not very good to begin with. It tied into a TV show, which I love the TV show, at least the first season. But it is Defiance.
I think he's very cool.
Funny enough, our local game store didn't even know this collector's edition existed until it was traded in. And it was extremely cheap, and I said, why not?
And we ended up actually seeing a larger version of it, which we were kind of questioning whether or not this came with a larger exterior box or not. Because when we went to Second and Charles, there was one that was easily, twice the size of that one.
So. But for what we paid, it was worth it for the statue. Mm-hmm. Because it was $15.
Yeah.
If that. So.
I guess this guy. Okay, so this one is one that we got at Second and Charles. It was on clearance, actually. And it is the Mirror's Edge Catalyst for, I believe it's the 360 edition. This has everything in it except for the Steelbook, which actually one of the guys that works at GameCore, I'm going to end up going and picking that up from him at the end of the week. So this will be complete for a hell of a lot less than what it is going for on eBay right now. Because, I mean, just the statue alone, most people want $50 for it. Easily. The only thing is, when we bought it, it had this random piece of cardboard on top of it, and we still don't know if it actually goes with it or not, or if we just ended up with a random piece of cardboard with our collector's edition.
Yeah. Okay.
Now the fun ones.
Yes. The next couple are big and can be kind of pricey. This is the smallest of the three, but also probably the heaviest of the three.
I feel like we got all of these for a really good price for what it was.
This was sitting at our local game store for quite some time, kind of on the back of their shelf.
And really didn't even notice what it was until we started, actually kind of looking online and...
But this is the Ultimate Collector's Edition for Final Fantasy 15 on the Xbox One. It is complete. It comes with a statue that honestly is almost worth what we paid for it itself.
It comes with
the game, comes with the Kingsglaive movie, comes with the soundtrack,
comes with
an
an
art book.
Which from because usually when we go into the game store, they'll kind of scan eBay price charts to come up with prices of stuff, because it's just kind of on the whim.
Yeah.
And the cheapest price he could find for the art book alone was $100.
Yeah. Which isn't, not even lower half what we paid for this.
Yeah.
I think 75% of what we paid for this was the art book. But this is a cool pickup. Actually just got this on Friday.
Would have been a little bit more awesome if we could have found the PS4 version, but
it's
at
good.
the end of the day, we have the PS4 version, so this is more or less just going to stay complete as it is.
And it's fun to throw Xbox some love.
I suppose. Okay.
Are you doing that next?
I guess. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're both huge. So, go ahead. Use your words.
Okay, so this was also traded into our local game store. As soon as I saw it, I said I want it. So I think this is like the 5th copy of this game I have. But
it's kind of like Final Fantasy VII. You just keep buying copies for different systems.
Once again, got this mostly for the statue. The statue in this thing is awesome. We'll be showing some B-roll of it. Yeah, fun game. Excited for the new one, whatever they announce it coming out.
Because this has the big Alduin statue on the Shout Rock. I was trying to think of what it was. Came with what, the art book?
It has art book, cloth world map, which is really cool. That would be awesome to get like framed.
And then it has the soundtrack in a game and one of those like cardboard foldy outy.
It says it has a documentary, which is interesting.
It's probably in with the game.
But it was complete. The box is a little beat up, but it's mostly shelfware. And I'm excited to actually have this statue on display once we put up some shelving to hold all of our statues that we've been buying. So, yes.
As you can see as he moves, we have a lot of collector's editions that are just kind of chilling up here that we haven't been able to take the statues out of yet.
The only one with the statue out of it is Sekiro.
That's right, we did take that one out. But back there we got a couple of Dark Souls, you know, Soul Calibur, oh Jesus, God of War. Everybody's been seeing Neo 2 on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram. Had to get the Steelbook copy. And last, which, like I said, surprising size difference between the two of these, but it's Ori and Will of the Wisp Collector's Edition, which I'll do B-roll these as well. That way, because the Steelbook on this game actually looks really nice. And keep tuned. More stuff to come.